Guys, it's Wednesday night. It's 9:30. It's the 215 boys. My name is Paul Spencer. Dave, how you feeling?
I'm good, Paul. How are you? What's going on, baby?
Good, man. I am ready to get the show started. We got, though, one of the members here of the Star We Are. We're about to bring on his other members right after our promo here. But, Jimmy, how you feeling tonight, brother?
Man, I'm feeling good as always. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. So, guys, get your popcorn ready. It's 9:30. It's prime time. The 215 boys are in the house. And with the Star We Are, of course, we'll be back in 1 minute. Make sure you put those hands on the keyboard. Comment tonight live and get ready for the party. We'll be back in 1 minute to get the show started. Hey, what is going on, everybody? You already know it's 9:30. It's the 215 Boys in the House. Special guest with us tonight, the Star We Are. My name is Paul Spencer. My co-host, of course, is Dave Yarnell. And, of course, joining us, the Star We Are. We'll start to the man right next to me.
Yes,
Jimmy, how you feeling?
Man, I'm feeling absolutely wonderful. Listen, I'm so excited to be with them 215 boys, and I got to tell you, I love how direct you were. No corners taken.
Call it.
New York sucks.
Sucks.
Philly sucks. In your intro sucks. Beautiful work, guys.
And you know what? Of course,
we don't play around, baby. We don't play around.
Of course, we already know Dave. And Dave, next to you, we have Landry right there. Tell us about yourself and welcome to the show, brother.
Yeah, guys. I mean, it's the same thing. Landry's Legend from the Star We Are. We'll get into everything shortly. Jimmy kind of stole my intro right there. Suck is my favorite thing about your intro. Great. Outstanding. And honestly, I had a little moment when you showed the 5 Super Bowl trophies. So that was outstanding.
Exactly. And, of course, probably the most beautiful fan of the Dallas Cowboys out there. It is Slam and Sammy out there. Sammy, how you feeling? And welcome to the show as well.
Good. Thank you. Feeling a little camera shy. Something I'm still not over yet. I will get there. I'm excited to be here. So thank you guys for having us and ready to get this party started.
That's cool.
Appreciate it. First, I want to say camera shy. With beauty like you have, Sammy, there's no reason to be camera shy. It's people like me, 50 years old, that don't really want to come on board, showing my face. But how about we get this show started? We did have a little time in the green room talking a little bit. I told you guys how I'm a Cowboys fan since 77, showing my age now. But, Jimmy, I'll start with you. Why Dallas Cowboys?
Repeat the question one more time, Paul. Say it again. We're starting with me. I got to make sure I'm prepared, locked, and loaded. What was the question?
Hey, tell me how you've been a Cowboy fan. Me, personally, I was 6 years old, Dallas Cowboys, 77, met Roger Goodell in Oxford, California. Talk to me why you became a Cowboys fan.
No, that's actually easy to do. Yeah, so me and my grandfather, the man I was named after, metal detecting in the backyard. He had got it for me for one of my birthdays, one of the few birthdays that I actually got to spend with him before we lost him. And so we were metal detecting. We found a little Dallas Cowboys keychain. Had the little helmet. It was from the 80s. He was telling me all about America's team, yada, yada. Well, I was right at the age where 3 out of the next 4 years we go and win Super Bowl. So
great years.
How was I not supposed to fall in love? I mean, what was I supposed to do at that point? I mean, the trio, Aikman, Emmett, Irvin, the whole works, Dion, primetime, so that was it. I was hooked.
The triplets got you, right? The triplets.
That's it.
We're going to skip over Dave. Of course, we already know Dave's story. Dave was an Eagles fan back in the day. I'm just joking. Dave was never an Eagles fan. Landry, what about you?
Yeah, it's a similar situation. Me and Jimmy have been friends for a little over 20 years and about the same age. And so kind of the same situation. My mom divorced, remarried when I was about 5 years old. My stepdad, an awesome guy, was a Cowboys fan. And the first literal football game I can remember, and it's vague, is at a Super Bowl party when I'm probably 7 or 8 years old, and it's 92-93, it's 52-17, and everything in life is good for the next few years.
Yeah. Sammy,
that was
29 years later.
and even 29 years later, I'm loving it. The heartbreak has been worth all the even on a regular season day. Some of the victories and heartbreak. No,
I hear that.
It's a fun time.
Sammy, since you're only 21 years old, how long have you been a Cowboys fan, and what got you started?
Oh gosh, thank you for that.
She's a baby. Let her go. Come on now.
I'm actually 28. I'm kind of scared to hit
she
30,
called it
but
out.
we're almost there.
I wasn't gonna say it. I'm glad she did.
No, me either.
She took the rope on that. She took the string on that one.
Yeah.
So being from Kansas, a lot of people automatically assumed I was going to be a Chiefs fan. But honestly, weird enough, me and my dad, close as could be, like, best friends. He was a Miami Dolphins fan, and he's the one, I know, weird, right? He's the one that kind of got me into football. I didn't know much about it. But we were so competitive. I was like, I can't be a Dolphins fan. I have to go against him. And my mom was a Chiefs fan. So right there, that was an automatic out. Love you, Mom. Sorry. But my dad's best friend was a Dallas Cowboys fan. And I heard them two bickering, going at it. And I was like, you know what, Dad, go Cowboys. And that's just kind of how it happened. I didn't really pay much attention. I mean, the first couple games I watched Tony Romo during the Jason Garrett period. Not our best years, not our worst years. Well. Anyways, but 2016, once I finally got over my whole gotta be a girly girl in school kind of thing, I was like, screw it. It's time to be who I am. Started watching. We got the beautiful blessing of Dak, and here we are.
There we are. So I guess you're saying, Sammy, you became a Cowboys fan because you were a rebel, and we know how Jerry loves rebels, so you fit right in. So
I guess so. Yeah.
There we go. But the one thing, said and foremost for all five of us here, we've been true to our team from beginning to end, and we'll never change it because Cowboy Nation is strong. We're the most hated, fans out there. But you know what? We're probably the most educated ones because we've seen it, we've been through it, we've done it, and we're still waiting for the hopefully the quest for 6 coming up pretty soon. Hopefully.
I think we might be the most educated because memory. When you smack someone over the head so many times, you go, ouch. We've been smacked so many times over the head in the last 29 years.
Yeah,
we know a little bit.
We don't say ouch. We say, okay, what was that?
Yeah.
Dave knows I live up in the mountains up there in Pittsburgh, and I have a backyard, an acre of all trees. And Dave knows if it's a bad season, I'm cutting down trees every year, and I've cut down quite a few trees the last 4 years living up here.
Now that's a revelation. You're saying you're up in Pittsburgh?
Near Pittsburgh, near about an hour from Pittsburgh.
Near Pittsburgh. Well,
He's Johnstown.
I'm familiar with the area. My dad's from Eastern Pennsylvania, Scranton. But
okay.
The office.
You're saying you're cutting down wood for other reasons. You're cutting down wood because you have to. You need 5 cords to survive the winter.
That is very true. That is very true.
Guys, I'm 15 minutes from Lincoln Financial Field, so give me a break, okay? I got to hear it every day.
15 minutes from you work.
Yeah.
Trust me, I hear it every day.
You know what? When I was up that area, and obviously you're very close to Philadelphia.
I am.
I wore things in the off season more. I hope you see me.
I do that too. I do wear the things in the off season where people are like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I don't care."
Oh yeah,
like,
I wore jerseys.
I support my team through and through. I don't care if we win. I'm there.
Yeah, I wore jerseys to the link, even going back to Veterans Stadium. I lived there for 35 years, right outside of Chicky and Pete's, the biggest sports bar in Philadelphia that sponsors the Eagles. So I lived 4 doors down from there. But how about we jump right into this? I want to get you guys' take. Dave and I already talked about this. Landry's and I already talked about this in the green room a little bit. Let's go through these draft picks 1 through 4 pretty much. Let's talk with Kyler Guyton here. Standout player, a man-child, Oklahoma, right tackle. How do we feel at taking him at 29? Different night and day world here going from right to left, correct? Whoever wants to, what? We'll go with Sammy first. Sammy, how do you feel about this?
Wow, I was kind of hoping you wouldn't do that.
Well, you can call a friend if you want. You can hop it over to Landry or Jimmy if you want.
All right, Landry, I'm gonna go ahead and skip you, and we can come back to me.
Okay, I'll get us broken in there to kind of get our mind going, and to probably save a lot for Jimmy from his 24-hour marathon yesterday, where this has been discussed a bit. So. And like you said, we talked in the green room. Well, you got to have high hopes for both of them. At least the Dallas Cowboys went and picked 2 offensive linemen in the first 3 rounds. And they started with the outside, which is harder to find and goes quicker. I can't remember how many went in the first round. It had to be 8, 10 tackles. So, quite a few.
Hey, Mike.
He is an absolute monster, of a person, basically as big as Joe Alt, who went in the top 10. I think it's just the technique and the raw ability, because he's played less football, isn't quite there for, say, Tyron Smith, who you would make it akin to, who was a top 10 pick, played right tackle, and they weren't even concerned about making him a left tackle because a little bit different of a situation of being basically a prodigy and built perfectly, and it was always going to work. We know we can coach you. A little bit more of a project with Tyler Guyton, but there you go. He's a big guy, and I can only hope they've done it before. Do it again.
Jimmy, what about you?
Yeah, size. Obviously, you got to love his size. You got to love his punchability. His ability to get out with his hands, full length. Yeah. For me, it's the transition to left tackle is just about the nuances. More, it does take a physical shift. It definitely does take a physical shift, but this guy is just as strong on either side. They've looked at that. They've worked that out. They kind of knew that in college. Oklahoma played him at right tackle. They probably could have at left. They just obviously had somebody they really liked at left. So I'm not scared of his transition going to left tackle. And if you want to get a young guy who, first off, the Cowboys haven't missed on a first round offensive lineman. You can tell me when the last time was.
It's been a while.
You had to go back, to when some of us.
I can't remember the ones in the 90s, but maybe never.
Yeah.
Maybe never. It's been a long time. Yeah. So they rarely ever miss in the first round. The fact that we traded back and still grabbed him there lets me know that they saw plenty of talent on our board to be willing to trade back. And so the fact they took him there, honestly, I'm really confident about it. And when you talk about getting battle tested, and I'm sure we'll go through the schedule later, he's got some guys coming up. He's going to face some heat in the first round of the season. So if he can get acclimated early, if we do get into the playoffs, like I said, we'll talk about it. I think he'll be, I'll ask you this real quick before we toss it to Sammy and give her take on Tyler Guyton. Let me just ask a quick question, and I'll ask Showstopper, you go ahead and give me this answer if you would.
Go ahead.
Do you think Tyler Smith at left tackle, and I was asked this question, so I'll ask it, could be 85 to 90% of what, or do you think Tyler Guyton can be 85 to 90% of what Tyler Smith was his rookie year at left tackle?
Well, transition's tough. I mean, he's going from one side to the other, so it's not going to be, But do I think he can? I think he can. Yeah, absolutely he can.
So if he can be 85 to 90% of what Tyler Smith was at left tackle, because he showed all pro capability, he just didn't play that the whole time. He just played a few games, but he showed Pro Bowl, all pro potential. So if he can be 80 to 90% of that,
I'll take 85%. I'm okay with that. Yeah. I mean,
So. And I think it can be even more, like I said, halfway through the season because he'll have been tested.
I mean, as long as they're protecting Dak, I'm okay with it. I mean that's the whole thing. I mean, if you don't protect Dak, we're in trouble. I don't want to see Dak running for his life every play. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the last thing we want.
How you get a leg broken?
Sammy, your turn.
Okay, so about the pick itself, I don't know what I was expecting for a first round. I didn't expect his name to be called, but I was excited. I'm still getting into college. It's a lot to take in to keep track of all those players and everything. But once I seen who he was, I was just ecstatic. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people were doubting him, and I'm one for a soft spot for players. So the fact that I seen everybody doubting him, I was like, I'm going all in. I'm going for him. I'm rooting for him.
Not a lot of playing experience. No one said that yet. Not a lot of playing experience.
No. I was getting to that. He's a fresh body. I mean, he doesn't really have that injury, background behind him. He has a very positive attitude. He said he wanted to be a Cowboy. I think now that he has the chance to be on the team he wanted to be, he's going to give his all. He did mention about wanting, willing to be flexible and having that open mind to be flexible. Like I said, I think he's going to give it his all. I think he's going to show out. His size is going to do numbers. He faces Myles Garrett early on. I think that's a good competition to get him started with.
That's a big jump. That's a big challenge right there, week one. No doubt.
And I
mentioned
think
wanting to go to Dallas. I remember you commenting, out there on X about his reaction. Right, he seemed genuinely.
right, and that's a big thing. Being where you want to be, how much better could it be than that?
Yeah.
I think he's perfect. I mean, so far. I hope it all shows out on the field like I want it to.
And
But
well,
I'm
a Texas kid, right?
excited.
And he's younger too, like a Tyler, right? Isn't he only 19 or 20? He's not
He's
even
20. I think he's 20 years old.
20 years old, just turned
A
20.
lot of life left in him.
That's right.
He's-
Well, let me ask you this real quick. I do a college football show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m., College Football Frenzy. I'm probably one of the dummies that watch over 50 games a week, constantly. But I'm crazy. Dave knows that. Dave knows everything
He
about
does.
college. But my question to you, I've watched a lot of Oklahoma. They don't run the ball as well. They throw the ball. It's a spread hybrid offense from Oklahoma. The Big 12, so, don't play defense, throw the ball here. Really not run blocking. But does this concern you at all? 1,100, not the exact number, over 1,100 snaps at right tackle, 32 in 3 years at left tackle. Is it because Dylan Gabriel was a blindside left-handed quarterback, so they put the stronger on the right side opposed to the left side? If they would have had a right-handed quarterback, a Jalen Hurts, a Baker Mayfield going back in the day, would he have played right tackle, left tackle opposed to right tackle? Being the blind side is the most educated spot as a quarterback-friendly person.
I'll be brief and let Jimmy go. I think it may be a possibility, but I think it had more to do with what Sam was just touching on about the limited play time. Guys, the guy, I think he started playing football his senior year in high school. Just off athleticism, Oklahoma said, like, you're just freaking big enough to play something. But we need a little more football knowledge and coachability, over at the left tackle position.
So I was actually going to start with what Landry said, young, right? Like we were just talking about 20, high school. They didn't see much. They said you can play. Oklahoma took him right in. So his ability to transition, learn, and grow and adapt and play a position, not a problem. So again, that's as far as the transition goes, not worried about it. Now, I'm really interested in what you just said, Paul, because I didn't even take into consideration that he was a left-handed quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
And now when I think about it, if he started at left tackle and only because you said he only played 32 snaps,
May have just been
what I
because he was the
remember,
best.
it was his first game that he played was at left tackle. And so maybe they saw enough that they immediately said, wait, no, go protect the quarterback's blind side because you're better than who was over there. And because when you talk about a left-handed quarterback, you need your better pass pro on the blind side. You're 100% correct. And so now when I didn't even realize that when you put it together, if that was his first game at left tackle and they said, nope, go play right, then he just was the best tackle on the team, period.
He was a starting left tackle for, remember this name, Spencer Rattler, his freshman year in college. That's when he started left tackle. Of course, then they switched him to right tackle when Caleb Williams took over, because Caleb Williams is that right-handed quarterback that likes to run to the right. So they moved him over to that side, which made sense. Stronger mobility on the right side, right tackle. Okay. Great running game with him too. But then Dylan Gabriel came in, and why not keep him at right tackle? Because he's the strongest human being in college football, basically.
No, I'm seeing it now. The idea that maybe he was just the best offensive tackle they had, so they're like, flump, flump, flump.
Sure. Yeah. Well, let me ask you, what grade do you give Tyler Guyton at 29 here? I mean, we basically moved back and still got a great positional player, a franchise player. Just like Jimmy said, Tyler Smith, at 85% of what he can do. The only downfall with him coming to the league was his penalties. Overrode that, played great for the entire season here. What kind of grade do you give him? Sammy, I'm going to start with you this time. What kind of grade do you give Tyler Guyton? Because you're all in. You are all in.
I am all in. That's my problem sometimes. I'm going to go ahead and give him an 85%. I'm going to give him a B. I'm high hopes on him. I have my hopes set. But I have to see him in action first. So the high hopes is the B. I don't want to knock him to a C because I'm more hopeful than that. But I can't give him an A because, as you guys were saying, he has to prove more than anything how capable he is of being in the big leagues.
Yeah,
very true. Landry?
Yeah, I'm going to be in an A- because of the trade back. The 4 spots is the difference, probably in a B+. So I'll give him an A- because they traded back for him. And they probably couldn't do a lot better than that because of the position they drafted and how valuable it is in the NFL. And like I said, I can't remember the number, but 8 to 10 of them went ahead of him. Now, the only thing the Cowboys need to get the value that they got, out of the pick is for him to be one of the 5 best tackles that come out of this draft. And they win.
True. Dave, we already got your grade. Of course, we went through the whole show. Jimmy, I'll go with you because we got a loaded pack show here.
For sure. So I'll go with a little bit. I'll split on Sammy and Landry there, and I'll take a little bit of both from what they said. I have to go a little better than just a B because he was a first round pick, and so you usually want to give those guys an A. But to Landry's point, when you're the 10th at your position picked, it's hard to give you an A. So I'll go B plus. I'll go right in the middle of there.
Okay. All right. Well, let's move on to number 2 here. Pick 56, Marshawn Nealon. Very small college, Western Michigan. I mean, did anybody see this coming? Because I love the kid's motor. I love his size. I think later on down the line, you lose Gallimore at the, or I'm sorry, oh goodness gracious, I'm drawing a blank here. This went to Washington. What was his name? I'm sorry.
Armstrong.
Armstrong, thank you. Dorrance Armstrong going there.
Yeah, Dorrance.
My thing is, I think he's going to start a D tackle most likely, with Mozzie Smith from last year, of course. But I think he's going to be the D Law replacement at defensive end later on down the line because that is his natural position.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
I don't know much about this starting at D tackle thing. That's it. That's an interesting concept. Small school, and you were asking about the surprise of the pick. Definitely not a name that was on my radar.
Right.
But similar to things that Cowboys have done in the past, and on draft night, right as the draft was starting, maybe an hour before, I think it wasn't Nick Eatman, Dave Hillman. I can't remember who it was. Who said something about Darius Robinson from Missouri, another edge rusher that the Cowboys were linked to. And then as the draft was starting, I see Darius Robinson is in the green room, one of 15 players, and the other 14 I knew to be top 15 picks. And I'm thinking, why is he there? Like, that's a name I had no idea. They don't have him there if he's not getting drafted tonight. And it had me half convinced it was fixing to be an edge rusher in the first round, in the late first round, and a name I wasn't, necessarily familiar with. And the Cowboys ended up doing something similar in the second round. But Marshawn Nealon, yes, to what you said, I'm just going to let them go with that. Yes, I think the run stopping ability is the tools and the attributes that they saw.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy.
Yeah, so Landry actually had me convinced that we were fixing to draft Darius Robinson because it just made sense. It's like, hold on, only, like you said, only 15 people in the green room. 14 of these names we all know. They're household names, basically. Even if you don't really keep up with college, you probably heard it coming leading up to this point, if you watch football at all. Darius Robinson, I hadn't heard anybody in Cowboys Nation, all the content creators we watched, nobody say his name. Like, I hadn't heard his name, period. Yeah. And so he had me convinced. I'm going, no, we're going to pick somebody that we've never even heard of. Now, at the same time, I'm also thinking maybe he's it. If we're going to do that, maybe he's it. But that ended up not happening. So for Marshawn Nealon, I'm really excited. Here's my projection or my expectation for Marshawn Nealon. To by midway of the season, at least split the amount of snaps Sam Williams get, if not lead him by a little bit, just off his pure motor. He's got he might have one of the highest motors on the defensive line. So I'll take that all day. Coaches love that. Zimmer's going to love that, right? He's not going to give up on plays. He's going to backtrack to runs. He's going to do all the little dirty things that you want to do, and he's going to do it, like I said, with the highest motor on the line. So upwards of Micah. Mike always plays with it. I'm going all out. Landry even says it. Micah looks like on every play he's about to hurt himself trying something.
Every play.
So you're going to get that out of Marshawn, which I like. And he gives me a lot of the D-law in the run stopping. Like it looks like that. So I think over time he's going to be a cornerstone of our defensive line. I think he will get a second contract with us, and he'll be maybe not an all-pro, maybe only make a couple Pro Bowlers in his career, but really solid, A to A- player for his whole career. As long as he stays healthy, he's going to be really, really good pickup. Exactly
like
what
you said.
you
It
want
was
out of
definitely a Zimmer pick.
round.
It was definitely a Zimmer pick, like you said.
Yes. Yeah. No, I think it could be exactly when you draft a second rounder, you're not looking for the A+ guy. You're just looking for a career guy, right? Like, you're going to come in, you're going to start, and you're going to be here for your, and I think we'll get that.
If you're
one name last year, it's Mozzie Smith. Just like last year, Mozzie Smith, picked him high up in the draft, and he sat basically, rotation player. We're looking to the future. A lot of teams look to the future. This was a future pick for us, just like you said, Jimmy. Definitely was. Yeah. Sammy, what do you think about this one real quick before we get to we'll go to one more draft pick.
So I'm going to keep it short and sweet. As I said, the college and the draft is not my expertise. I I didn't know much about him. I'm so sorry. I'm ashamed to be answering this.
No, it's fine.
Yeah,
No,
no,
I
it's
don't
fine.
know
It's
much
fine.
really
about
did.
him, but based on everything I've heard, the confidence everybody else has had, I'm just gonna jump on the bandwagon and say I'm excited. I
Yeah.
hope he puts up what he's worth. The hype around his name is a lot from what I've heard, so I hope he lives up to it, and I'm here for it.
Look,
Yeah,
Sammy's
there-
not me not long ago, because that was when I was like, okay, if we're gonna do this Star Wars thing, because we're just all super fans. That's what we are. We're super fans. But I was like,
we
look,
are.
if people are gonna ask us questions, I got to know a little bit. So if you'd asked me these things a year or two ago, I'd have been like, Sammy, well, I don't know much about these college players, but let's
Yeah,
go Cowboys.
I just got into college last year. I'm a Colorado Buffaloes fan, and that's,
Oh,
I know. Yeah, I know. I They're not the best team to start with, but I'm learning. And ask me this next year, and I'll be a pro like you guys at it. I swear.
well, you know what, Sammy? I'm going to hold you
I'm
to
no
that.
pro,
because-
Sammy. Let me tell you, I am the last person in college football you want to talk to. So
Well, Sammy,
Yeah.
next year I'm going to hit you up. We're going to be on my college football show. I'm going to have you on there one time as a guest, okay? And we can talk about how much you learned.
I'll look
Knowledge
forward
from
to
Paul.
it.
For college
But Sammy,
football.
there's nothing wrong with not watching it, because honestly, with Marshawn Nealon, I watched so much college football. I actually had to go back and think, does Western Michigan still have a team? I really had to go back and look for a little bit, honestly. Yeah.
See, you guys,
But,
you guys got to understand. Sammy has a life on Saturday afternoons. You have no time to play much
that's
college
right.
football.
I haven't gone around everywhere.
Well, Dave knows not to bother me from noon to probably 2 in the morning. Do not bother me, because it's college football all day long. 4 screens on my big TV. Yeah.
And he'll text us all day who's winning, who's losing, and we all
That's
know.
right.
Well, here you
Okay.
go. I'll
Let's
give
get
you-
to let's get to the comments real quick. Yeah, Mike Laurel says, "What's up, y'all? How's it going, Mike?"
How you doing, Mike?
Foster covers this. You're a Bears fan out there. Please check out Foster. He does Bears Country podcast on Twitter and YouTube. Check him out as well. Steve Lofton, one of my co-hosts for the Washington Commanders show, the Washington Commanders Gridiron. What's up, peeps? Looking forward to your draft review. Since you guys didn't have much to do in free agency, whatever.
Yeah,
Steve.
yeah.
Worry about your own damn team and your stadiums, okay?
Look,
Adam says, "I live in
Commanders,
Alabama."
Redskins. What is your team called? We don't even know.
An hour from Scranton, and I saw an hour from Scranton out there. Got to be Allentown, something like that.
There we go. Yeah, Adam, he's one of the hosts on the Atomic Drop podcast, a wrestling show we have on Saturday nights. He's lives an hour from Scranton. Joe Sullivan does my Eagle show, Sully Squad, every Monday night, 6 p.m. Guys, Guyton has a ton of back. Maybe I'll be concerned of him switching sides a little bit, but well, Mike Lauro, a great host also. He says, "How do you feel, this guy, about the running room?" We'll talk about that, Mike. One more. Let's talk about this guy here. I thought he would not drop this far. Let's talk about Cooper Beebe real quick.
Cooper Beebe.
Insane player, but once again, playing guard, not playing center. Won 2 positions on the line. We're switching from right to left, from guard to center. Jackson Powers Johnson from Oregon was out there.
Wow.
That's the name I wanted.
Me too.
Cooper Beebe. Heart, dedication, strength, talent. I use this word with you, Landry. Jeff Saturday type player. Commands the O-line, even playing a guard. I think
hope
this
so.
kid's going to be something special.
I hope so. Jeff Saturday is a dog, and you can never have enough of those. And Cooper Beebe might be also. Like I said, super excited about the idea that we at least went in the first 3 rounds of both of the offensive line positions. Both of them addressed. One of them had to sacrifice, and it had to be the one that's less premier, the interior offensive line. They're just more available now. As far as Cooper Beebe goes, a good player in college. The transition from guard to center might be even scarier. Not only is it a different position, you got to do something instead of just block the guy in front of you. Now it's know what you need to do, snap the ball in time, coordinate with the quarterback, block the guy in front of you, get to the second level, the whole thing. All I'm going to say, the best thing about Cooper Beebe is immediately after he got drafted, his dad was very interactive on Twitter and was kind of a big fan of the content creators, didn't seem to be a big fan of the 4-letter networks, and liked how the content guys immediately accepted his son. He was on Jimmy's. He came on live with Jimmy for an hour or so yesterday on the 24-hour telethon and got some excellent jewels and tidbits that I'm sure he can go into. But just from talking to him and almost the look that you get from him in the background and where he's from, it just seems like he was raised the right way. And the only thing he's going to do is work hard. And if he does that, then he can be the guy.
I agree. Jimmy?
Yeah, so what his dad said is, and we'll start because this is one of my. This might be now I mean, he was one of my favorite coming in. When we look at the center position, I was looking later. Obviously, left tackle is more premier because, like Andrew said, it's just a more premier position. So,
Sure.
And when you look at as good as Tyler Biotish was, I think in house we already looked at Brock Hoffman as being at least that good. So we didn't feel a need to jump for a center or anything like that. But so. His dad said when he was younger, he was kind of moved around, played a little defense, and coach said, you know, he said, Coach, I'll just play wherever. And he said, well, you might, you know, you're bigger. I think we think right here will be good for you. And he said, that's fine. I'll just play. He just wanted to play ball. So already the passion is there. Like, I just want to be out on the field. I just want to be here.
Coach says jump. If you say how high, pretty much you said.
So that's great. And his potential, I'm going to tell you right now, this guy might be Travis Frederick 2.0. He might be even better. His dad said
that's a big jump from Travis Frederick. I mean, come on now. Come on.
No, it is. Listen, I'm going to say right now, and he's going to have learning curves. All young ones do, but he's going to win the center job. His footwork, his hands, and what Landry was saying when talking to his dad, I could see, because I even asked him. I tried to hit him with a hard question. I said, "What are your expectations for BB? Where do you see him? Where do you see his career?" You know, I tried to get everything I could out of him. But you could see a silent confidence. You could see a smirk in his dad's face, because we were at another Cowboys Nation. Remember, your guy Nick was on, and we were peppering him with questions, and he was a champion. He was answering. It was a good time. Some really good stories there, but there was a little smirk that you could see of confidence where he just knows. And he said, "Listen, he can squat a house. He's sneaky strong. The numbers, we asked him about the gym numbers, and he said, look, those don't matter." He said, when he puts his hands on you. Nick's asking him, he said, about what age was it when you realized that, you couldn't wrestle him anymore? And he said, well, I think when his dad said, I think he was about 15 or 16, and he realized that he could throw me. He just wasn't. And then at 18, he was basically like, Dad, you don't touch me anymore. You don't want to try that. So, no, he's going to be sneaky strong. I think he's going to steal the job from Brock. Now, listen, he's going to fight for it. He's going to have to earn it. That will be one thing. And the biggest learning curve for him is going to be the mechanics of snapping the ball, because like you said, he hasn't done that. However, in his college days, in practices, off seasons, other coaches had told him, look, you've got the skill set that will make an NFL team a really good run blocking center. Maybe he learned to snap the ball, and so he did. He practiced it. He got okay at it. So those mechanics are already kind of there. It's just a matter of him and Dak and how our offense works. But I've got him winning our starting center job and being a possible Pro Bowler this year. I'm not.
Hey, Jim, real quick, were you surprised that Tyler from Wisconsin actually went to Washington?
No, because they're building Dan Quinn's building the Washington Cowboys over there.
Yeah, that's what he's doing exactly.
Yeah.
Great.
And I knew he was going somewhere, but wherever.
Sammy, what's your thoughts on Cooper Beebe?
Because I always call him Tyler from Wisconsin. That's why I just
As a fellow Kansan, he's from Kansas. The K-State thing, woohoo! I like to see us make it big. I'm confident in him, just kind of based on what they said, the passion for the sport as a whole.
Yeah.
He got his best friend Deuce back there with him. I know Deuce isn't our running back one, but he's on the field. He knows kind of how they do things around there. I know different positions, but I think that'll help him instill a little bit extra confidence, just having somebody familiar around with him. I don't know. He's a big guy, and I knew when I heard he was playing for the center position, we lost Tyler Biotish. I was kind of pissed, kind of angry about it. Sorry. But I'm just, like I told you guys, I'm a softie for the people and the passion. It gets me. I can't help it. I think it's the girl in me.
No, it's the fandom in you. That's why we love you. You're like, look, he's a Cowboy. I love him. Yeah.
Pretty much. There's a couple of Cowboys I wasn't fond of, and I feel like that's a strange thing to say, but I'm excited. I really am.
You look it.
I am very excited.
Is Tony Pollard one of the Cowboys you weren't too fan of? Is that you were happy?
Oh my God. How did you even ask me that? Do you see?
You guys didn't know Tony
I
Pollard is her guy still.
during the season. I got his helmet on display behind me. I'm sorry, I'm probably gonna
So-
go to a Tennessee game just to eat his family's barbecue and be like, "Hey,
Oh no, that sounds
me,
awesome.
Sammy, I'm here."
Now,
And-
now
That-
Sammy
is that-
doesn't know it, but somebody in her family's actually leaked the information to me that she's already bought a pair of Tennessee socks.
Oh, okay.
But we gotta
Okay.
watch it because she's starting
Oh,
to
boy.
sneak over there. We got to keep an eye out.
I am
I was,
not.
I was just going to ask Sam, were you upset that he went to Tennessee? But I guess I can see that now.
Yeah.
No, I will
She's a
never
bit.
trade my back on the
Well,
boy.
Sammy, here's the thing. Once you go to the dark side of the Dallas Cowboys, you can never go anywhere else. I don't know if anybody ever told you that, but you can't go anywhere else.
I am
That's it.
never leaving.
Okay.
I was so mad the day we got rid of him. I shed tears. I woke up and I have quite a few followers that know I love Tony, and I woke up with so many notifications of people tagging me that he left, and all I could say was no, 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 no.
You knew it was coming, I think.
Hey, Sam, real quick. I don't think he was ever the same after the injury. That's just me. Because that playoff game that he had against the 49ers, he was having a great game until he got hurt.
Yeah.
Right.
So to me, I think ever since that time, he was never the same player.
We
I just
may
don't
have
see it.
won that game had he not got hurt.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If he didn't get injured, we would have won that game.
Yeah.
See, but I think also, I mean, of course he wasn't. Okay, this is me being a defensive little fan over here. I've had knee surgeries, and I know it's different, but it takes a while to recover. And I feel like the expectations coming fresh off of a broken leg were so high. I mean, he played to that potential to have the expectations set so high, but he needed that buildup to come back. And as you guys seen after week 11, and I will talk this black and blue, he was coming back. Like, he was getting better and better. I mean,
I will agree with it. I've seen a little more explosiveness towards the end of the season too.
he was
I
getting
will
his
say it.
confidence back. I think, mark my words, I don't know what Tennessee's line is like. I pray it's good enough for me to talk this, but I think he's going to explode this year. I think he's going to show us what we're missing, and I think he is going to ball the heck out. And I am waiting for all the apologies I'm going to get about it.
So
You know
is he going to be the Derrick Henry replacement?
No.
Derrick
You know-
Henry's literally a big.
I don't think anybody could do that.
No.
I didn't think so either. But,
I think Pollard got the wrong end of the stick, though. Coming off that injury, he's a north and south runner, a jump cut runner. And when you lose Zeke, you're giving him the 1-2 punch, and you're taking away the 2 punch. You're
I
becoming the one back by yourself. Coming off an injury, when your game is speed and jump cuts, it wasn't fair to him, honestly. Honestly, it really wasn't taken away from that point. But let's talk about OTAs really quick here. Well, Lamb saying he might not show up here. OTAs, of course, mandatory camp. Will he hold out? What's going to happen with CeeDee Lamb here? First and foremost.
A voluntary camp, I think you meant to say.
yeah, voluntary.
Yes.
Voluntary. Yes.
Voluntary. But doesn't it show a little bit to your team members? Hey, yes, I am A1 alpha wide receiver here. Why not show up and build this continuity? Because I want that quest for 6, man. Cowboys fans, it's been almost 30 years now. I want to show these guys I'm real.
Yep. Days at this point, when it's this time, when it's these months, it's got virtually zero to do with Cowboy fans. It has to when you're on that contract year, especially that first one, the one where this is your bag to get. Some players, hang around long enough, perform all the way through this and get another pretty lucrative one. But this is the one that's going to pay for the rest of your life. You can't even roll your ankle playing basketball in the next 2 or 3 months. You don't do anything that you don't have to do. That's what I was. Right. You don't run 10 yards. You don't have to do. I don't have a problem with CeeDee Lamb or any players in that type of a situation. It's not the type of situation like a Zeke who's holding out 2 years ahead of time. Mm-hmm. Is that this, that, or the other thing? So it's part of the game. I don't need those guys out there in May.
So as long as he doesn't go to Cabo, correct, and hold out, right?
That's
we're
it.
okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
And as long as he shows up to training camp, I would prefer that if you're still under contract, you at least show up at that point because that's no longer voluntary. That's as far as I'll go.
Jimmy, what's your thoughts?
Well, he won't. Just to segue from what Landry just said, he won't show up without the contract. Because like you said, it is his bag gear. And some might say, well, Dak did it. Dak still played and everything. Quarterbacks do it. But when quarterbacks have played as well as Dak had up to the point he chose to play his contract year out, barring a lifelong injury, You can even take a year-long injury, and as a quarterback, if you've played that well, you're still going to get signed. As a wide receiver, not necessarily. That's not necessarily the case. You will lose money.
You'll get
if
signed,
you
but you'll
take
lose
a
money.
bad
Yeah.
injury. But you will.
And,
You'll
and,
lose
and,
money.
and you know what? That's a great point. Wide receiver, quarterback, just like Jimmy said and Landry said there, it's a different atmosphere there. Quarterbacks don't get really touched in preseason. Even preseason, really. You play one series, OTAs, you're not getting touched. You wear the red vest for a reason.
Yeah.
Wide receivers, jump cutting, sprinting.
Right,
you know,
they're asking you to go hard.
Exactly.
They're asking you to run hard and all that. Yeah.
Even at
Totally
80% danger of getting injured.
Sure thing. Coming off, off season here, going into, OTAs or even, mandatory or voluntary camp, a little bit different. I understand, but Slam and Sammy, let's talk about this. All in, should he show up? What's going to happen here? Is he going to get paid? What's going to happen?
I pray he gets paid. I think he knows his worth to the team. I mean, he is a big role. He is one of our biggest playmakers, and I think he's showing Jerry Jones that he means money. I know he's not going to the voluntary OTAs, but I have seen footage of him doing his own training and everything. So I'm hoping that, that's a positive sign. He's still doing what he needs to do to stay in shape, stay ready for what's about to come. But I think we're kind of digging a hole for ourselves. Wide receivers are a little stubborn. And the more that these other receivers from other teams keep getting these bigger and bigger and bigger contracts, we have a big spot to fill. And like I said, he knows his worth. I pray he wants to be a Cowboy. I hope he has that Michael Parsons heart in it to be a Dallas Cowboy forever. And will just come in and do what needs to be done. I don't know. I want to say I couldn't blame him if he didn't, but I would be very upset, and I would blame him if he didn't. So,
Well, Sammy, what you said about contracts, all these wide receivers, I call them divas. Quarterbacks and wide receivers are divas to me, okay? All these contracts out there, $25 million. Justin Jefferson is going to reset the market coming up pretty soon. Does Lamb say, you know what, I'm just going to wait for Justin to go ahead and get his bag first, and then I'm going to say, well, my numbers are better than Justin Jefferson. Why not? I want more. Do you think this holds out by holding out a little bit longer? Secures him a bigger bag? Of course it does, but it hurts the Cowboys nation on the field.
And I think exactly that. I mean, I don't know what their cap space is like, but I'm sure it's not as limited as ours is. And we also have Micah's contract next year and other contracts next year that we have to worry about. So I kind of hope that CD's in it for the long haul. He's just waiting for the right number. I hope it's not holding out to be the top paid, which he absolutely deserves. I just hope he's waiting for the right number for his satisfaction to stay with us.
Hope so.
And to Sammy's point, when it comes to the business side of it, CD has to look at it like that too. Dak has to get signed. Micah is going to get signed next year. If this is my year to get paid, I can't play this thing out and then try to compete with Micah Parsons' paycheck. I don't. Maybe if I have another 1,800 yard, 15 touchdown season, maybe I can try to compete with it. But I don't want to be in this situation to compete with Michael Parsons. So I need to get paid now. And I think he will. And I think it'll be, listen, they're not going to want Dak not throwing to him when it comes like
exactly.
When they go out there, when the planes fly out to Oxnard, it may be a little bit of the Zach Martin situation last year. We've seen him missed for a year.
Take another week.
We won't throw any sources out there, but I told everybody, listen, that's like a family vacation. Zach Martin's coming. Give it 7 to 10 days. He's just coming behind everybody else. We already know the deal. That's not he's coming. And so they got signed. And something similar may happen like that with Lamb. Maybe a few days late, yada, yada. But once they really get into the workouts and the game plan and implementing the offense and throwing the routes and those things, they'll have him paid because they know he won't show up without it.
Agree. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. One comment I want to say real quick.
Do you trust Tolbert? No.
Right.
And you need Lamb on the field. It's a guarantee.
You have to have him. Yeah, you have to. Mike brings up a good point, which I want to talk about next. So let's talk about the running back rooms. How do you feel about the running back room here? Let's talk about them. Of course, you re-signed Zeke to a 1-year deal, basically $3 million. League minimum basic money now for a running back, pretty much. Let's talk about this running back room. I know we lost Pollard, of course. Zeke, Royce Freeman, Rico Dowdy. Malik Davis, Deuce Vaughn is your fifth scat back. What do we feel about this running back? The NFL is a 2-back league. How do we feel?
The running back room is not, obviously we're not the best running back room in the NFL. As far as bringing Zeke back, looking at all the factors around it, what we paid for him, the fact that he's Dak's best friend, the fact that I think he'll give everything he can in this year or the next 2 years, however long he's around. You were asking who I think is 1A, probably Ezekiel Elliott. When you talk about who's going to play first down, second down, pass blocking is a huge thing for Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
It has been. I'll take that back any day of the year. So there you go. I think Ezekiel Elliott's 1A. I've liked a lot from both Rico Dowdle and Malik Davis. Jimmy's going to tell you about how running backs are a dime a dozen, and so we're not a running team at the moment. Let's just run the ball as we need to. Let's hope those offensive linemen we drafted can help it more than any singular running back could have.
Jimmy, since you're over there dancing, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you said it. We're not. Listen, so if you talk about where we finished in the league, dead in the middle. I think it was 15th or 16th in the league in rushing yards. We weren't a great backfield last year. We're not a great backfield right now. Just looking at it on paper, I'm a fan of Zeke giving us everything he has in his tank. This could be a last hurrah with his best friend, in Dallas, come back home, retire. It could be his last season. So I believe we'll get all of Zeke. I don't know how much that is. What I would prefer when I look at the backfield, I believe Malik Davis will stay 4, float around the practice squad, maybe be moved in and out, replace somebody who gets injured, things like that. He'll be the first one moved up when a running back does go down. I think Royce Freeman has a little more in the tank than we think.
You really think so?
I would hate to see it be another Ronald Jones Jr.
I forgot he was still in the league.
Yeah, I know. And it could. My honest gut feeling tells me it'll be Ronald Jones. We brought somebody in. We'll work him out.
Right.
And even make the roster by the time, and now I understand Ronald Jones got in a little trouble and had the little injury, but that's exactly where I see Royce Freeman. So it feels real similar. What I would want is Rico Dowdle getting the bulk of the carries. Because when you talk about, we were talking about how many touches are our running backs going to get in a game. Roughly 30 to 35 touches in a game. That's all we're going to give it to the running back. Who's going to split that? I don't want to see like 10-10-10 or 12-12-6, something like that. I'd rather see 15 from Rico and save Zeke. Listen, because like I said, Zeke's going to give us everything he has in the tank. We know we're going to be a playoff team and we want to pass the ball anyway. Save Zeke for the end of the season. I don't care if Zeke only has 50 touches by the time we get to week 15.
True.
Think about that. If Zeke looked better off as healthy as he did.
Hey, it's not like you're going to save Zeke for the end of the season and then him come in and be playoff Zeke or something. But I can get with save Zeke for the end zone. That whole 12-12-6 thing. Maybe I said Zeke is the 1A because he's going to play the first and second down. But maybe make him the 6 carries in the red zone. I'm okay with that.
I call Zeke the 20 to 20 yard runner. Inside the 20 red zone threat. That's all he is to me. Use Rico. He showed power last year. Dave. I made a bet with Dave last year over the last 2 years. When he finally gets in the end zone, I'm probably going to be the only guy in the world that has his jersey. I went out and bought his jersey. A brand new NFL stitch jersey. Bought it, rock it all the time. But he showed power last year. He shows power running the ball. I kind of like him. Royce Freeman to me, later, I like what you said about Zeke being the blocker. Zeke is a big blocker. We've seen that Tampa game, years ago. Exactly. Royce Freeman's not that blocker. So I think he's going to be a little bit down the depth chart to me. I think it's going to be Zeke, either Zeke 1A, 1B possibly with Rico Dowdle and having Royce Freeman as your third back, honestly. Because the passing is really important. Pass blocking.
I'm with you on Rico being 1. Rico's my 1.
Rico had a good season last year, too. He did. He had a very good season last year. After coming off the injury the year before.
The touches he had were good.
I mean, Rico was opened a lot of eyes last season. Really did.
Now, Landry, I did want to ask you because, if you're saying saving Zeke for the season, it's not all of a sudden not like he's going to give us 2016 Zeke. No. Do you think if you asked Zeke to and said, "Hey Zeke, this is your one shot. We got to get 22 carries out of you this game. We got to hand you the ball 20 times this game. We need Can he give you one more of those?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yes, he
sure.
can. Yes, he can give you 20 carries, but those 20 carries aren't going to be dependent on the fact that you've rested him mostly for 14.
Oh, I think for a running back in year 8 or 9, it definitely
they're going to be dependent on the continuity and the progress of the offensive line to that point, and the blocking schemes against the other team, like the way
But
Green
to
Bay
think
just
that the difference,
shot the gaps and knew what was up.
that's
That's not
to think
gonna,
that the difference of 250 carries.
He's not making anybody
and,
miss. Like that's why I can't have him be my 1A back in the playoffs.
No, I get that, but you can't tell me that 250 carries and 140 carries by the end of the season doesn't mean fresher legs. For a running back on year 8 or 9, it definitely
Show
does.
me what he does with his 8 to 10 carries a game in the first 8 weeks.
Well, I hope he doesn't get 8 to 10. I was 3 to 5.
3 to 5, and then what? And then you're going to give him the ball 18 times in a playoff game?
Matt says 20 carries for 22 yards. Out.
Matt is actually one of our hosts on the show here on 215 Boys as well. So
and Jimmy knows that just as well. You know that he's 1 yard in a cloud of dust. You coined the phrase.
Yeah, but you're going to get a lot of screen passes from Dak to Zeke too, like we did in the years past, and that's where Zeke gets his yards. That's what's going to, that's where they're going to come from. So that's not a bad thing.
Team player he is. So,
Mm-hmm.
Sammy, what do you feel about this? We're arguing about the point, this point here. What is your all-in mentality of this one here?
This might be the least all in I am. So, okay. I think a lot of people that know me knows I had faith in Zeke a little bit before. I kind of was a little bitter that, Tony ran him down the field, got him where he needed to be in the end zone, and boom, Zeke gets all the credit because he got the touchdown. Tony didn't get the credit he deserved.
That was the plan, Sam. That was the plan.
No, Tony needed
No,
you just got to be on board with Dallas.
Get me to the 5. Give me Zeke on the 5. He's going to give me a touchdown. Bang, done. That's all.
The Cowboys.
But everybody celebrated Zeke. Nobody celebrated Tony being the one to get him that
Well,
far.
Tony did the work, and Zeke finished the job. That was how it worked.
Right. But
I missed that. I completely missed that because that was fun.
I feel like Zeke's, oh God, I feel funny saying this because he's my age. I feel like Zeke's getting aged.
No.
I feel like he doesn't have a lot left in the tank. I feel like, maybe being on the Patriots wasn't the best thing for him last year.
Oh, he's behind Stevenson too. You got to understand. He was, he was running back too.
But when he did have a good year last year, almost 1,000 yards, all-purpose yards, screens, catching the ball too. I think it was 680 rushing the ball and about 300 something catching the ball. So it was productive, coming from basically being a 2-back system too. But I think it's going to be a good 1-2 punch here, regardless of who 1A is.
Yeah.
I really do.
It's going to be him and Rico being that 1-2 punch. I think Rico's going to take on the spot of Tony, and I don't think Zeke's going to do like everybody wants him to. Not that it's going to happen. I think it's just me being bitter. Like I said, I pray to God I'm wrong. But I think he'll be worth what we paid. I think it'll be worth it for him to be back with his best friend. And everybody said he's a hype man. DeMarcus Lawrence talking about being burnt out. I hope that with a hype man in there to hype everybody up, that'll pass. We'll have that mentality to keep us going. So I don't have the highest hopes, but I am hopeful.
Okay.
Sorry.
Here's a comment I want to get to. I agree with this. So Matt and I talk all the time about, he's a Cowboy fan as well for years and years. Where's the screen game? I haven't seen this since Dak and Zeke were playing on the same team. Where is our screen game? Because we mentioned screen games with Zeke here. Dave, you said it. Where has a screen game been with the Dallas Cowboys from a running back situation? I've seen tight end screens. I've seen wide receiver screens, bubbles, screens, but no running back screens. And I think to me, Deuce Vaughn was the perfect guy for a wide receiver slip screen. The scat back from Kansas State. What do you guys think? And ladies.
I guess I'd be quick on this because I know we have only some time left. We have to get to the schedule, but the screen game, I'm not enough of an X's and O guys and a deep enough guy to say I know all these coaching trees and where McCarthy came from and so on and so forth. But it seems like it may have curtailed a bit, coinciding with the past 3 years with McCarthy. And in terms of the Deuce running the screen game, I would imagine every other NFL coach sees that also when that.
But is that a shots thing too? Is that shots not calling the screen?
No, it's McCarthy. It's McCarthy.
Is it McCarthy? Is it shots? I don't know.
Go back to his days at Green Bay. The West Coast offense. The best running back he ever had was Ahmad Green. He never ran screens for him. So that's just a coaching mentality. You grew up with it. Your coaching book says we don't screen. Your next job.
That's all Garrett did was screen though. Garrett, that's all he did was screen with Zeke.
We don't have a clapper anymore. So,
I get it, but I'll tell you that
Nah.
Mhm.
It's the 11 personnel. It's what Mike's
Sure.
always done. Those work. 11 personnel always fits wide receiver screen better. And so you don't our screen, what a Mike McCarthy screen is going to look like out of the 11 personnel, which we ran almost, we were up there top 3 in the league. Is basically just going to be your running back leaking out. Just running directly 10 yards to the right or left of the quarterback, just in case everything else up front doesn't work, and then you ask him to make a play. That's about what our screens look like. So
yeah. His screen game is like a 13 personnel, 3 tight ends. That's his screen, tight end slip screen, something like that. But
more tight end screens than running back screens, I think.
Exactly. If it works, it works. If we're going to do that, let's just run it. Because last year we played 13 personnel a lot, and we scored on a slip screen on that one touchdown there, with I think with Ferguson there. But let's get to the last comment here. The last topic of the night here before we get out of here, guys. Let's talk about this schedule. Let's talk about the schedule. Let's start off with this. Sammy, you said week 1. Why not just play Myles Garrett week 1? I'm going to go through the whole season. David and I usually don't do this, but we're going to do it this week because we have a special panel here tonight. Let's talk about wins and losses. Sammy, I'm going to start with you. Week 1. What happens week 1? Do we win?
It's so hard to do wins and losses in May to me.
Well, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it.
I
You don't want to do it? Okay, then don't do it.
No, I know. I'm okay. I just have issues with it.
I'll do it efficiently for you.
Sounds good. Let's keep it real based on what we have, what our potential is, what the ceiling is, and what we see so far as being fans of the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just keep it objective and keep it real for us.
Okay.
Sammy, go ahead.
So I don't like Cleveland being our week 1. We played them at Cleveland. I hate starting off at an away game. I feel like having that home advantage would be way better, but we can't always get what we ask for. I'm a little nervous. I can't lie, but I think with Deshaun Watson coming back, I'm hoping he's awful. And I hope things go in our favor. I do see us scraping a win. I don't think it's going to be as dominant as we all want it to be. They are a tough competition. They have really moved up in the league the last few years, and I think they're ready to show what they're worth, but I think we want it more. I think we're going to win. I'm so sorry. I have to be right back. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem. No problem. Take time, Sam.
Sam's got us winning. I like it.
Yeah.
I am, like I said, I'll be more efficient. I've got a number in my head from looking at the schedule, and I've got a handful of teams, 6 to 8-ish that I could see us losing to. Cleveland's one of them, but I'll go with Sam on this one. On the road a bit of a challenge, but offensively, I still think we're going to have more firepower than a team like Cleveland.
Okay. So you got a W there as well. Dave?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go with a W there.
Okay, so as you know, we always have trouble playing on grass. That's something we don't do very well. Going into Cleveland, which is something we have to worry about. Deshaun Watson, that doesn't scare me at all.
No.
I see the Cowboys. It just doesn't because I don't think he's
Not anymore.
He's not the same he was when he was
Not even the same
back in the day.
person, let alone.
He's not even close. I have this as a win. I think it's a win up there. I really do. I think Dak plays out. They just go out there and they do what they have to do to get it done.
Okay.
I think it's it could be a blowout for all I know, but
Right.
I think it's a win.
Yeah, no, I told Andrew before, I think both teams understand Cleveland wants to run the ball. We know that. This is perfect for Zimmer and Eric Kendricks, which just to talk on Zimmer and Eric Kendricks real quick, the reason he was willing to come with us is taxes are better in Texas. So that's for one than they are in San Francisco, who offered him his other deal. But it's also because you get to fast track Zimmer's defense.
Yeah.
You have the mind of Zimmer and Eric Kendricks on the field with these guys in the room with them all the time. That way, when they're looking at field, Zimmer's not around yet. So we're going to fast track his defense into this. So that's going to help week 1 because we know Cleveland wants to run the ball. They will, to a successful enough point that it'll keep the game. They'll keep them in the game. They'll limit our possessions. But just because our quarterback is better than theirs, and CeeDee Lamb will be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL and looking to prove it. He's going to look to outperform Amari Cooper, which is honestly my biggest worry because we know we have trouble playing in grass. He's going to want to test Trevon Diggs' ACL. It's going to be interesting who we put on him. So Amari Cooper scares me more than anybody because a super technical route runner against a DB coming off his first game back off an ACL and they're familiar with each other. I wouldn't be surprised if Amari cooked us, but I think because our quarterback is better than theirs, and Deshaun won't be able to stand our pass rush. We'll edge them just by a little bit. It's a close game, but I've got us a win there as well.
Okay. To me, this was on the fence with me a little bit, but I went back and looked at this, revisited, the Cleveland Browns here. Chubb's hurt coming off the horrendous injury, number one, and that's the running game. The quarterback, Deshaun Watson, really, I don't know what he is, the almost overpaid quarterback in the NFL to me. It fits into our game plan. Solid run defense. Is when Diggs comes back with Jerome Bland, how are we going to look? Of course, we're going to be good on defense. I think we can hold that ball, and if we have to, we can throw the ball with the wide receivers. Jimmy, just like you said, CeeDee Lamb, one big aspect of the game here, too. So I'm going to go Cowboys win here. Everybody has a 1-0 starting here. Let's go to week 2. New Orleans Saints. How do we feel?
Not worried.
At
Not
home,
worried? Okay.
Not worried.
At home, again,
just
at
gonna
home,
keep it
and the
simple.
offense. The offense again, right? The
Big
offense.
green
and the
W.
attitude. I just have us with scoring more points in that game.
Who's
Sounds
that
good.
quarterback, coach, defensive coordinator, players? What team did you say? No, I'm just kidding. I just don't know what they have roster wise, and it just, they're building.
I mean, they don't have any weapons for Derek Carr. Alvin Kamara's not even. He's washed up. Michael Thomas don't even want to play anymore. So
He'll be a
they're
Cowboy
done.
He's a free agent now. Yeah.
Exactly.
He's a free agent. Yep.
That'll be
Yep.
a
So
Cowboy by
we're
that time.
2-0 here. Now let's go to the AFC side of the ball here. Now back on the AFC, Baltimore Ravens. I mean, we talked about the running game. Mr. Derrick Henry's down there now, and that's all they do is run the ball. Fits into our scheme a little bit, but can we stop a Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson? Let's talk about this game.
It's not Derrick Henry that scares me. It's just the team in general. Even last year,
Yeah.
the past 2 or 3 years, that's just not a team you want to see on your schedule.
Mhm.
That's an exciting home game. There's a lot of stuff going on that game, but it's just since the day I saw the logo, it's not that we can't win the game. It just feels like a loss. So
Agreed.
Yeah.
Okay. Sammy,
Yeah,
what about you?
I got a loss. I got a loss on that one too.
Okay.
I was gonna keep it short and sweet. I do have to go after this. I'm so sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Oh, no
Their
problem.
life. He has to get to bed. I hate ending on a loss, but I think that's exactly what it's gonna be. I mean, Lamar Jackson is not somebody to play around with. I'm still mad at him for stealing MVP from Dak last year. He didn't deserve it. He's a good quarterback. Dak deserved it more. Just want to throw that out there.
Wow.
I don't think the Ravens is a team to play around about. I don't think even my high, hopeful, positive all the time self thinks that we're going to scrape the win. I think it'll be a close game, and I think we'll give it we're all like we always do, but
Gotcha.
I don't see a win coming.
Sammy, before we let you go, can you let everybody know out there, we have like now 134 viewers live checking in. Please let everybody know where they can find you on Twitter and where where can they find beautiful Slam and Sammy?
So I'm stay-at-home mom. I live on Twitter. My @name is actually Slam and Sammy, so you can find me there. I love to interact. I love to talk ball. I talk about a bunch of random stuff on Twitter. Before I go, I do want to say Mental Health Awareness Month is this month. It is a huge deal to me. That's how I lost my dad. So if anybody ever needs anybody, I'm always a message away. You got somebody that'll always be there for you.
Sammy, I appreciate that. Dave knows me personally. And 2017, December 22nd at 5:34, I tried to commit suicide.
Oh, gosh.
I appreciate you saying that. It means a lot to me, definitely having somebody in your corner. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime. I mean that for anybody because I actually lost my dad November 17th of 2017. So it was a dark time. I've not done nothing but build from it. And I think that's part of the reason I'm so positive is everybody needs somebody positive, and I'll be that person. I will find a positive for you no matter how dark it is.
Hey, we're here for you.
Well, thank you guys. But thank you so much for having me. You guys are so much fun. I can't wait to talk college with you next year. I will be a pro. I promise you that. Have a great night, guys.
Nice.
Thank you, Sammy. Thank you so
Take
much.
care, Sam. Nice meeting you.
See, that's why we love her. What a way to end it on a great note to bring up.
Yeah, she's cool.
Exactly.
She's nice. Yeah.
Such a super fan, such a positive energy. Glad to have her.
She seems it.
Yeah. We always get the bad point about being Cowboys fans or just, above themselves, whatever. But it's you see the real fan in certain people. And Sammy is the true aspect of that right there. Not knowing everything about college, not knowing everything since when she started following it, but she's diehard. She learns it. She lives it. She understands it. She talks it.
Right.
She's going to
let's move on
more
here.
college than we think, guys.
That's right. She better because she's gonna be on my show next year. That's good. So.
She's got some time on her hands to learn. Like she said, she lives
Yeah.
on Twitter, so you didn't want to challenge her.
That is true. She tweets more than I do. I'll tell you that because I cover all the sports. Oh man, she tweets more than I do. But let's move on here. Let's talk about these Giants. We'll run through the schedule real quick here. We'll just go through wins and losses because we're running out of a little time here. We can go a little bit longer, whatever you guys want. But let's just go wins, loss here. Let's talk about the New York Giants. I have this as a win, actually.
Win.
Yeah.
Win?
Well, it might be the first like marginal win. It might be our first like blowout. Like I think the Saints will win 10-14. This one might be the first 24-point win.
Okay, Landry.
Just don't wear those hideous jerseys. That's all I ask.
Oh, they're gonna wear them, and I mean, we can make this even quicker. I know.
I get 100 years Giants. I understand all that, and you're all committed. But man, those things are bad.
They're bad. Everyone thinks so. I not only have this one as a win, but both of them as a win. I think they might be coached by Coach Kevin O'Shea now. The Little Giants, I think they are.
Okay.
But no, this is a win. They're both wins. Yeah.
You heard what Malik Neighbors said about the units when they asked him about putting them on. He said it's going to be hard to make these things look swaggy or something to that effect. He said it's going to be hard to make these things look good.
Yeah, coming from his beautiful jersey in LSU coming here, it's going to be totally different. Well, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this game here. Actually, Dave and I are probably going to be going to this game this year. Pittsburgh. I'll start off. I got this as an L.
I got to win.
Gwen? Okay.
I've got this is one of my possibles. Again, this is one where like I kind of change on the daily as I get asked this. My concern, I'm going to go with my gut feeling, which was that the biggest concern for this game to me would be whether it was played in September or December. It's played in October 6th. I think that, the weather, as long as it's not bad, kind of evens the playing field. They got a solid defense, offensive ineptitude. I'll give us a W.
It's a team I'd much rather play at home. You don't ever want to go to Pittsburgh and play. Nobody does, but just like Landry said, it's October 6th, not December 6th. So, and with their kind of inept offense and Russell Wilson going to be learning a new offense.
I was going to say, will it be Russell Wilson? Maybe not.
Will
maybe
it
not
be?
for that
Maybe
time,
not.
but yeah.
So yeah.
I think playing at home, it's going to be a tough game for them. Pittsburgh's totally different, at home. I've seen them before. So I'm going to go the L there, of course. Let's move on to the Detroit Lions. I'll start again. I got this as an L. Too many weapons, too strong. It's just, man, I still hate saying this. Jamar Gibbs, we could have had him. I wanted him so bad.
A very well-rounded football team. It's a team that we kind of were handling until the game got real tight last year. And it just kind of feels like no matter what it was, whether they got up a lot, we got up a lot, that a lot of those games right now, if you played them between us, might end pretty similar. Again, this is one of them that's a could be. I've got an L today and most days, even though that is a home game, right?
Yes, I believe it is. Yes, it is. No, it's an L.
I'll give it an L.
It's a home game.
Yep.
And how many fourth downs does it take for the Lions to beat the Cowboys?
I'm
just wondering.
Jimmy, what do you got? Win or loss?
Yeah, Decker's coming back to Dallas to report, and I've got a loss here, unfortunately.
I got to win here, guys. I got to win. I got to win.
Dave, you're on the road to the Super Bowl, brother. I'm just letting you know right now.
Boys win.
All right, they're home.
They're home. Cowboys went home.
Especially considering we all know the back half of the schedule is a lot easier, so you got to
boys win at home. You guys know that.
All right, well, we're definitely not going to lose next week. We're on a bye week. We're on a bye week next week.
Can't
We're
lose
definitely
that.
not losing there. Okay.
Don't say that. That's when you lose players during bye weeks.
You know what? Dave and I have a running joke in here. The one name that on a bye week we do not mention, he's gone now, was Tyron Smith. Because he could wake up in the morning and twist his ankle or pinch his nerve. So
I think he's gonna get healthy over the next 2 weeks. He gets a bigger injury.
Yes, exactly.
When I saw him on that sideline eating that hot dog, I was losing it, man. I'm like, what are you doing?
All right, let's move on to San Francisco, a team that's had our number here. I'll start again. I think we rewrite the ship here, and I think this is a W right here.
Well, I think he'll be the only one without question. All the rest of us are going to say until we beat this team, we're losing. Period.
Oh,
no
wow.
We
are like flipping the script. When I say W, you guys say L. When I say L, you guys say W. Okay.
Now at this point, it's become until you beat them. They got our, like you said, they have our number and some psychological advantages at this point. They've beaten us bad every time.
It's true.
My 2024 Dallas Cowboys. You will not beat this team. You cannot beat this team. Prove to me otherwise, please.
It's funny you said that. We had a hashtag last year all through the season. Dave, remember that? Prove me wrong. Remember that?
Prove me wrong. Yep, that was hashtag.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the Falcons. I hate to say this, but I got this as an L. Too many weapons. Kirk Cousins is going to make a difference here because finally they have Drake London, all these weapons, Kyle Pitts, new coach, new philosophy. Kirk Cousins is really no joke as a quarterback.
But Kirk Cousins can't beat Dak Prescott, so it doesn't matter. Dak wins.
Well, Dave, it's, okay.
And guys, actually, I'll be at this game. I'm going to Atlanta with my wife. We're going to this game.
All right, so you gotta win.
That's why I gotta win. I'm going.
12 o'clock in the morning is as far away from 7:30 as Kirk Cousins could get. Otherwise, there'd be no chance.
But what's Kirk Cousins' record against Dak?
No concern. No, I'm right there with you, Dave. I'm in the same boat as you. And you know, Paul's talking about playmakers, athletes, young guys with ceilings, Kyle Pitts and stuff. But now you've got a new quarterback. You haven't even been that effective using him yet. I got you, Bijan Robinson. You're right. They're a young team with a lot of high first round pick offensive players, but no one who's established themselves like that yet. So
Bijan Robinson is probably the only one you can say that's a guarantee. Like he's a good running back. Like he's a really good playmaker.
He's solid.
Yeah, you can.
And I'm with him. I'm with Paul. Drake London is a playmaker too.
Yeah, no. Offensively, they've got a lot to work with. And if Kirk Cousins stays healthy for 3 or 4 years for them before Michael Penix takes over, they could be a flashy offense.
And I know where he's coming from. Kirk is the type of guy who could be the week he lights you up for 450 yards and they score 40.
If they're off, look, we're right in the middle of the season. They could be clicking. They're all young. If they're on fire, sure. However, the one thing I did look into on this game, the biggest ineptitude that the Falcons have is both of their tackle positions, and that's not a game you want to be in against the Dallas Cowboys. Plus
Kirk does play good at 1 o'clock games, so I'll give you that. But I still think the Cowboys go in there and win.
Well, here's the thing: he can't win primetime games, and every Dallas Cowboys is a primetime game.
True,
no matter
this one,
3:30, whatever. But
it's a 1 o'clock game,
right? But
the amount of people watching, though, fair enough.
Yeah, I'm still going to go with the L here, based on the fact that Kirk Cousins is a big, highlight for them. Big passer that can control an offense, a lot of weapons, new coaching staff, new offensive coordinator. Who really they never used Bijan Robinson, never used London, never used Pitts in the right way. I think
Kirk's back up.
So
I don't care about that.
Paul. Listen, Paul.
No, I'm saying because Kirk might not make it to week 9.
Paul has us in absolutely Cowboys Nation hysteria right now. If Dak Prescott has not gotten a contract, and we have lost against the Lions, lost against the Niners, come off that game and lose to the Falcons. Where's Trey Lance?
Yeah.
Oh boy, I wish we had another hour because I could talk about Trey Lance for about a year, honestly. With his money coming up. Well, this game was really hard for us because I lived in Philly for 30 years. Dave lives down in Delco down there. Philadelphia Eagles. What do we have here?
The sweep.
Really?
The broom.
The broom's unrealistic. Is
usually we split with the Birds.
Yeah.
Usually we win at home against the Birds. We lose at Philly against the Birds. So this game's at home, right?
Yes.
First one is at home.
Yeah,
we lost on the road last year. Jalen Tolbert, get your foot down.
Well, Dak stepped on the line too. That didn't help.
Dak stepped out at the 1 yard line. Schoonmaker with the weird catch. Oh, he didn't complete the catch by the time was needed down before the goal line, before that, which we thought it was a touchdown.
I thought it was too.
We should have won that game 3 different times.
I agree.
We smacked them when they come to our house. I think we're just absolutely 10 a double digit dub both games.
Wow.
Whooping that team. They're not winning 10 games to me.
Wow.
What?
Ledger, what do you got?
Whoa.
I'm with Jimmy on the not that they're not going to win 10 games, but that they could struggle to. I realistically am with you on the split, but I don't pick against the Dallas. I don't pick the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't do it.
Okay.
I'm with you, but usually we split with them all the time. So
you made all the points. You're 100% realistic, and the non-homer in me, who's not on this show, is thinking 1-1. But I'm going to say 2-0 to speak it into existence.
Just because I hate Philly.
Dave,
really do.
I got a W. Oh, at home, I got a W. Yes.
That's the home game. Okay.
Home game. Yep.
Hey, I hate saying this, but this is an L.
Of course, you're going to say it's an L.
A 4-game losing streak. Oh no, he doesn't. No, because miraculously we're going to beat San Francisco amongst all that.
He did have us winning to San Francisco.
I think if we beat San Francisco and lose to the Eagles first round here, I think so.
Okay.
Let's talk about staying in the Battle of Texas
all
here.
These games you're going to win a lot of money.
Oh, believe me, I'm crazy when I bet. I'm up like 30,000 for the year already.
Let's go.
All right, let's talk about the Battle of Texas here, the Houston Texans. I'll start off. I'll be honest with you. Another L.
It's a loss.
it's a potential. This is again one of them I have of the like maybe 6 to 8 I have circled where the other
Okay.
teams I can't see it in any way. Yeah, this team is going to compete for who knows what. They could compete for a Super Bowl in CJ Stroud's second year if he's going to get any better than he already was. So they're a scary team. I'll give us an L. This should be a fun game though. Can't win
Mhm.
that. That's one we're going to have fun at in Dallas for sure.
Dak by throw for 400 for that game.
Dave,
I have an L, definitely.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Definite L. So I was big on CJ Stroud. I told Landry he'd be the best quarterback in that draft. And not only would he be the best quarterback in that draft, he would be really good, potentially like top half of the league. And it looks like he just might be that. One area that he struggled with last year, which obviously they'll try to improve, is getting to the second, third read. With our corners at that point in the season, they're familiar with one of those wide receivers in Noah Brown, one of those tight ends in Dalton Schultz. So because we know his weapons and because we can take away a couple reads per play, you can't do that with the pass rush that gets to the quarterback as quickly as we do. So I think we'll rattle CJ Stroud. Now, where I give him credit, he put his team on his back, and when it comes off script and just I've got to make plays and bring my team back, he did that to the point of winning 17 unanswered points, 20 unanswered points, 24 unanswered points to win his team games. Against Dallas defense, that's not the scenario you want to be. You don't want to try to go 17 unanswered points.
You were talking about getting to the second read. Maybe he doesn't have to with the brother on brother matchup because he's got Stephon.
He does have Stephon Diggs now. No, I'll give you that. And
yeah, that's right. He does. I can't wait to watch that. That's going to be fun.
And also another running back, Joe Mixon.
And that's what I say. Not only they were good last year and they got better on paper. So.
Yeah, I was surprised Cincinnati let him go.
By this time in the season, by the end of San Francisco and on, I'm not worried about our run defense at that point. I believe Zimmer has us clicking at that point, and so
he might. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
they can take away Stephon Diggs, which will be his first read a lot of the times. I mean, then you make him move off of it, and the pass rush gets there. And I've got a W.
Guys, we actually have a defensive coordinator for the first time. Mike Zimmer is very good at defense coordinator.
Hey, don't knock Dan Quinn, brother. Don't knock Dan Quinn.
I'm just saying, Mike Zimmer's good too.
That man rebuilt this Dallas offense.
Oh, I agree, but Mike Zimmer's a good DC too. So.
Dave, you know my philosophy: 11 hats on one ball. That's what.
I know. That's Dan Quinn. I know. I have nothing against Dan Quinn. But
all right, let's go. Let's play. Well, we mirror our team. We play the Washington Cowboys next week.
Yeah,
so
we play Dan Quinn.
That's a win.
It is a win. It is a win. You know, young quarterback. We know we're familiar with their players. We're familiar with their head coach. One of Dan Quinn's problems with me, and I'm not a bad DC, but if you look back at his Atlanta years and stuff like that, Dan Quinn couldn't hold a lead. Could not hold the lead. And so he ended up in doing so, he built a defense that was like, look, once we have the lead, we're running away with this thing. We're going to get after the quarterback. We're going to take the ball away as soon as I build lead. I'm not giving up leads anymore. And that kind of ran him into the now you're going to get the ball run down your throat problem. But like you said, we fixed that with Zimmer. There's no way Washington's beat us. Like I said, NFC East, get the broom out. Get the broom.
All right, so everybody's got a win on that week. Let's move on to the New York Giants again, second time here. Game of 2.
Win. I got to win.
I already called it Little Giants.
Little Giants. Get the broom.
Both Washington. Well, now looking at this, I mean, I honestly had a sweeping Washington and Philadelphia, or Washington and the Giants. No, Philadelphia, because I never pick against them, and I had a sweeping Washington and the Giants. So yeah, the broom on the NFC East. I'm over here with Jimmy. A few of these next ones are going to be fairly easy. I'm serious.
The broom on the NFC East this year. It's
incredible.
In a long time that we're finally going to win it.
Other than the realistic probable one loss against Philadelphia, still. Yeah.
This is the game that scares me. I think it's going to be a win, but I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. This is our third game in 18 days, basically.
That's right.
Very hard. Division,
that's right.
2 back-to-back. I mean, you're going to run and gun with the Texans here. You're going to play a hard NFC East game with the Commanders. Then you're going to Washington. The Giants playing another NFC East game here. Kind of a struggle to me. I think it's a W, but it's going to be a lot closer. This could be the game where, oh my God, I can't believe we lost that game. Honestly, this is one of those games to me that scares me.
And those are going to happen. It's not realistic, probably, that we're going 6-0. What I'm saying, those are absolutely going to happen. So, nothing wrong with that.
So the last time we played the Bengals, with backup, who was it? Cooper.
Cooper Rush.
Was it Cooper Rush?
Well, why was I drawing a blank there? Cooper Rush. Okay. And Bengals were coming.
I was thinking Andy Dalton.
Yeah. both redheaded, right? Strangely enough,
Right. That's what I say. Yeah.
But so the Bengals are coming to our house 0-2. I'm thinking they're not going to want to lose this game. Burrow was healthy at the time. They had more weapons than they do now, and Cooper Rush beat that team. They're not
Yes, he
very
did.
much different team than they are now.
Mhm.
And if you tell me Joe Burrow's still healthy by December 9th, I'll say they've got a chance. But you're also going to have to tell me that he has more than Jamar Chase as a weapon. Because as of right now, they're sending receivers out the door. They sent Joe Mixon out the door. They sent linemen out the door. They haven't replenished a lot of that.
Higgins
So-
don't want to be there. Boyd doesn't want to be there. Nobody wants to be there.
Yeah.
I think this is a game late in the season for them where we're going to be needing wins and trying to put together a stretch of wins, and they might just get mauled. I've got a W
Could be.
as well.
Yeah, I think this was a benefit of a late schedule here with, for them right now with the team that they have placed in front of us. So I give it a W as well. Dave?
Guys, you're gonna kill me on this one. I got a loss.
No, I'm
fair
not.
enough.
I'm not. Plenty of quarterback there with Joe Burrow. I'm
Yeah.
kind of with you on this one being one of the. You think you're going to win it, but you don't necessarily. They do still have a very solid defense, a decent O line. I don't know who's replacing Joe Mixon at running back, but I bet they can still run the ball to an effective enough extent to be able to.
I think this
to
is
utilize
a
Joe Burrow.
brain fart loss, honestly. Like one of those ones. Yeah. But then we were
Then
done.
you got an L or a W?
No, I've got to know.
An L. Wow. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next week. Carolina. Oh my God. 0-55 Panthers here. Let's talk about this.
That's a win.
The biggest bust of the NFL draft crowd 2 years ago, Mr. Bryce Young over C.J. Stroud. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, that's going to stay around forever. Bryce Young's probably going to get better, but probably nothing that's ever going to scare you. No, you're not. I'm not going to be worried about him week. What is this? 14 or 15 of this season.
Yeah. Mhm.
No, yeah, he'll stick around with them his rookie contract, but no, that's unfortunate for them. That they're just in rebuild mode.
Well, doesn't Carolina have the Eagles running back too? Did he sign a 4-year deal?
I believe
Okay.
so.
Yeah, Swift.
Yeah, but they need more than a running back for them. They need an
No, I'm
offense.
saying, I know the Eagles running back signed a 4-year deal with the Carolina Panthers. I forget.
Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah, they need
I
a lot more than
think so. I think so. DeAndre Swift from
I think
the
you're right.
running back from last year, right?
Yes.
No, I think
Okay.
no. Swift went to the Chicago
No.
Bears.
To the Bears. You're right.
He went to the
Who's
Chicago
running-
Bears. Dave,
who's
I
the
know
running
him.
back?
I know him personally, Dave. I have his phone number down
I'm saying,
there,
who was
so-
the running back that Carolina signed from the Eagles?
Well, if it's not important, we can't name him, so I guess he's not important. It ain't going to help them.
Well, he was a big part of the Eagles' running game for years.
Oh, you mean Deuce Staley? Deuce Staley?
No, not Deuce.
I'll call it here. I think this is the game where we have the most rushing attempts that we have all season.
I think so too.
We'll just run the ball against that
All right,
team.
let's go to Tampa Bay here. Tampa Bay.
Another trap game.
Yeah.
This
Yes,
is the
it
one.
is.
Here's the one that we're probably going to win, but I have this as a loss by a gut feeling. A gut feeling that Baker Mayfield, along with Joe Mixon, is the type of quarterback who could just be on fire that day. And I still don't know how well we're going to be able to come back. So, from deficits.
Gotcha. Dave?
Tough to call. I'm going to say win.
Okay.
They win.
Jimmy?
This is one where I actually have a loss because, like I said, my initial schedule look just coming out was 12-5. I actually have a slightly better now just because of the belief I have in our guys and the potential I see, and this is obviously, like you said, hard to predict in May, but if our learning curves and the things that I want to go right do go right, I obviously have us coming off Atlanta, Philly, Houston, Washington, New York, Cincy wins. This is one where you can sleep a little bit on Baker Mayfield, where Mike Evans can absolutely cook you. They didn't have much of a run game last year, but were able to sneak into the playoffs. I think they will try to establish a run game for Baker this year to make it easy, to make it not have to be the Baker and Mike show. So this is one where I think we've come off a stretch of wins, sleep on them just a little bit, and they kind of gut punch us.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So you have him at the L as well, huh? 2 L's.
No.
You have an L? I'm sorry.
Oh,
Jimmy?
yeah, it
Yeah,
was
okay.
in there. Yeah.
And Landry has an L as well. Dave, you have it as a win. I have
a
it as a win. I have a win as well. All right. Well, here it is. I know, Landry already said 2-0 against the Eagles, so I'm going to give you a W there. Jimmy, where are you going to go?
The sweep. We're sweeping the
Oh, the
East.
sweep.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet.
I
Dave?
do believe it.
It's at Philly. I'm gonna go lost on this one
Yeah, we
because
lost, yeah.
We're split,
Philadelphia normally, like I said, they always split with the Birds. Normally.
I hate saying this. I'm going to go opposite side of the fence. I think the Eagles sweep it this year. I really do. I think it's a different team this year, different mentality.
Sorry, guys, I gotta go.
You said that last year,
All of
too.
a sudden, I have to get out of here.
Yeah, a different team that lost their Hall of Fame center, so the push pushes half as.
Yeah, they
But the tush push got a lot. I call it the brotherly love still. They call it that, but I call it
Brotherly
tush push.
shove.
I call it the Bush push because I'm a Notre Dame fan, of course,
Nice.
going back years. But I think it's a sweep. I think the Eagles sweep is here. I really do. I hate saying
Just
it.
real quick, because I know we're trying to wrap it up, but just real quick. Here's the thing: Jalen Hurts coming off of a lot of interceptions. When Dak did that, he fixed that. He threw less than 10. I think he only threw 7 or 8 last year.
9.
Or it's exactly 9. You're right, just under 10. Jalen Hurts coming off a lot of interceptions. You usually want to fix that in the manner of let the same offensive coordinator find the problems and critique them. Right? You lose your all-world, probably one of the arguably the best centers in all of football, period, in the history of it.
Jason
You lose
Kelce.
that, it's important. You usually want to switch up your offensive a little bit, get some new weapons, throw some kinks in there. They didn't. They just signed the 2 receivers that they still had, which we shut down last year in basically both games. And then you're asking Kellen Moore to come in and tell Jalen Hurts to not run the ball? Because Kellen Moore doesn't run his quarterback.
Pass happy.
We know that. And you're throwing to the 2 same receivers that we seem to shut down pretty well. This is why I have the Eagles not even winning 10 games. Kellen Moore is going to be the biggest problem for them.
Hey, and then real quick, Paul.
I love that.
Paul, where is it that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win? Like, where are they better than the Cowboys? Positionally,
If running back,
maybe
defensive
Saquon.
line overall, maybe the depth on their
How much
defensive
better?
tackles.
Better?
Their defensive tackles are better.
I think the
And
second
the
level.
defensive
I think they're
ends
second
aren't
level.
They're
I think they're
linebackers.
second level.
Their
I think
second level, we have 2 Pro Bowl, All Pro cornerbacks.
No, he means the linebackers. I think the second level in the run.
no, not linebacker, not linebacker. I think their wide
the
receivers
two
are better than ours. I think their wide receivers are better than ours.
As an
Plus
entire
plus-
unit, a little bit, maybe.
as a
Plus,
unit.
plus the tight end, the second level tight end. I understand we got the Shoemaker,
I'll give you that.
Hendershot. We got great tight
Ferguson.
ends, but
Look at Jake.
But still-
Jake
but
almost
still.
caught 800 yards.
Jake's a beast.
but you're discounting Dallas Goedert too. I mean, think
No,
about
Dallas
that.
Goedert's a good
He
player.
No, you're absolutely right, Paul. I am discounting
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert because I'm not scared of the guy and I don't
Well,
care.
Goddard
nothing
gets
about
hurt a lot too. I mean, he's injury prone.
And plus, okay, on the defense, yes, we have a solid defense, but didn't we address
have
it
some-
every hole that we needed? The Eagles addressed every hole that they put a Band-Aid on last year and got better too on the
No,
secondary.
they did that 2 years ago too. It didn't get them much further. They did that last year. It didn't get them much further. They win the offseason trophy every single year. But I've got to show you something real quick. I've got to do this to you, Paul. We don't worry about offseason.
I want to
trophies.
see this.
We're not worried about offseason trophies. The only thing the Dallas Cowboys are worried about, just like they say, we haven't made it to a conference title game in 10,000 and something days. I don't care about a conference title game. These guys got to go get me one of these offseason titles, conference games. None of that means anything. So,
That's the thing.
go get me one of these.
Real quick, hold that thought, Jimmy. I want to go to the last game here. Let's talk about this. I have this in L. Everybody else has a W. Let's talk about the last game, the Washington
Yes,
Commanders,
sir.
because I want to revisit that thought you just said, Jimmy, real quick.
Okay.
Let's go. Washington Commanders here.
When?
Yeah.
When?
Yeah,
Okay.
when sweeping them.
Win.
Yeah, I think we sweep the Commanders,
They'll have a top
Redskins,
five. Most people will. Though.
football team, whatever you want to call them.
All right. I have it as a win W as well. All right, so we're good. I'm going to actually put this on Twitter of all of our picks here. I'm going to screenshot this and put it up there with the little hashtag up there. Jimmy, I want to ask you something really quick. Dave and I argue every damn day about this situation, okay?
Ooh,
I coach elite Pop Warners, 11 to 14-year-old kids up here.
okay.
Last 2 years, I made it to this Pennsylvania State Championship. I've lost to the same guy, Darrell Revis's brother, Aliquippa Quips, the last 2 years, knocked me out of going to Disney. I won Coach of the Year last year for the state of Pennsylvania for the offensive side of the ball. After receiving my award, I picked up my trophy and I threw it in the trash right in front of my team and the whole crowd because I said I do not play for participation trophies. I play for the big one, the big chip, the big ring. How do you feel about what I just said? If you, as a player, as a coach, or as a parent, how do you feel if I did that right in front of your kid?
So I'll start by saying the phrase, there's levels to this.
Mm-hmm.
There are levels to this. And at the level it sounds like you're coaching at, it sounds like you're trying to implement what an NFL coach would and say, guys, just like I just said, this conference title doesn't mean nothing. Oh, we won the East and we got a home game. I don't care. That's not important. We want to. Dak Prescott got Man of the Year. Cool deal. Keep doing good for the kids and everything. Dak, that's fun. Where's the ring? Who won the championship? The Chiefs did.
Yeah.
2 is not a winner. 3 nobody remembers. Shout out to Nelly. It is.
But
It is.
does
what
it blow your mind? Does it blow your mind that these quarterbacks are getting this kind of money? Okay, Tua wants money.
Mhm.
Fields is going to get his. I mean, these guys are getting all these money. Dak's not getting anything. I don't get it. Like, I just don't understand. I mean, he was runner-up MVP last year. 30, and I say this all the time. We fight about this.
He's got the trophy.
39 touchdowns, 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, yada yada yada. But yet, to me, I feel like Dak is getting the short end of the stick here. Why is that?
When get to the NFC Championship game for me.
I mean, I understand that, but I mean, there's guys out there that have yet to get there, but they're getting their money.
Dave,
Dak's
it's been
not
almost 3 decades, Dave. It's been almost 3 decades.
I get that, Paul, and I understand that. But my point being is, Dak. It's not like Dak's a scrub. I mean, he's good. He's a good quarterback. You know, he should be getting paid what these other guys are getting paid. What's Tua done? He ain't doing anything.
Dave, here's the deal.
I mean, there's quarterbacks out there that have done nothing, and Dak, you know.
Dave, here's the deal. Dave. Would you rather pay this guy $70 million a year just to win the NFC East title for you every year and not get to the promised land every year? Would you be okay with that? Not me.
Well, I know you wouldn't, but to me, I know Dak's going to get me to the playoffs. To me, I know Dak's going to get me NFC East. I understand that.
Keyword, get you there.
Right, but anything can happen when you get to the playoffs. So, I mean, and I know Dak's record isn't the greatest in the playoffs. I understand that. But
I'm seeing it both
I just can't see like these other quarterbacks are getting paid. And
Dave,
it just seems to be like.
Go ahead, Landry.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm seeing it both ways. First of all, I do think Dak is getting paid. I mean, I feel like the past 5 years he's been in the top 5. He's when he gets paid, he will get paid, and he'll be paid in the top 5 for the first 2 years until 5 more quarterbacks have signed contracts, and then that knocks you down there. So I'm not sure if Dak's not getting paid. And I'm with you on the fan side of things. I want Dak Prescott. You know, let's get him paid, get him signed, because he's going to win 10, 11, 12 games. He's going to get you to the playoffs and give you a chance. And it just hasn't gone our way. And I do take it like that. At the end of Paul's point of you're not winning it. So,
well, I think
there are other teams in this league. Sorry, Paul. There are other teams in this league that would love to have Dak Prescott.
Josh Allen.
Dave, pay him the money. Go ahead and pay him the money. I'm not writing the check, so go ahead. If he doesn't do this year, see you later.
But yes,
so
pay him the money regardless. You don't have a better answer right now.
I heard Jerry literally say that we can get this deal done in August. And I believe that's going to happen.
And Jerry's the same one that says all in. That this team's ready to compete for a Super Bowl every year with all in without doing anything. That's the same Jerry Jones, Dave. But
we're talking about the same Jerry Jones who said ZQ and then signed him 2 weeks later. So I mean, come on.
Well, here's Landry. Exactly what your point is.
You guys know.
Dave, come on. Oh my God.
I mean, you guys know that Jerry always says deadline make deals. So, you know.
Okay, what deal is he going to make? What deal is he going to make, Dave? What's he going to do?
But Jerry normally does.
David Jerry Jones. What contract is Dak Prescott going to get based on Dave?
4 years, 4 years, 55, 60 at the best.
4 years, $65 million. Okay, I'll take that. That's only $18 million a year.
60, yeah.
4 years, $60 million.
I said it could be 55 or 60, somewhere in that area.
So you mean 4 years, $220 million?
Yeah,
correct. Yes.
Yeah, 60 per. Yeah.
I'd pay him up to $55 million, and that's it. Okay, that's all I would pay him.
So here's where Dak is. He's getting 55 this year. Mm-hmm. So that's off top right there. Next year has to be more. The per year has to be more than this year. Now, what scares me about Dak's contract, and because I hear you, Paul, and the Joneses might be exactly right there. We went and got you pieces. We've done this. We re-signed this player. We got the best receiver in the league last year. You were cooking it.
And you threw 36 touchdowns and 9 picks. It wasn't your fault. You're not the reason we lost the playoff.
No. I hear you. I'm just saying, if the Joneses are there too, like we've done everything we can. We're going to let you play this thing out because get me at least, sniffing the Super Bowl, or we will just hit the reset button. Now, last time Dak's contract year was up, they had a number for him. Todd France was talking. Dak was talking. There was noise. There's none of that this go around. It's just we're not talking about contracts. Dak gets 55 this year. If he leaves and goes and plays for another team, he gets 45. Dead hit from us. This last year is worth $100 million if he doesn't extend with us to Dak Prescott. Then his new contract is potentially, because we see it, worth $150 to $200 million guaranteed signing. If he goes and signs some 5 year, $60+ million with somebody else, that's going to be a $300-something million contract. He'll get $200 million of it up front. So in the next 13 months, Dak could have put $300 million in his bank account. instantly, because he'll get the 100 from Dallas and he'll instantly get the 200 from another team. And if he's just looking at it as a money thing, then he's going to say, I'm playing this year out betting on myself, because the extension you guys want to give me now is probably somewhere around 60 to 65 for 4, which is around 240 to 260. And I can make 300 just by leaving. I can make more in 13 months than I can for the next 3 or 4 years playing here.
Here's the thing. I definitely think he does get signed this year. During the offseason, I do think he's going to get a 3 or 4 year deal. I can see most of the money being guaranteed up front, using that philosophy. Because you look at it, Landry, just like you said, the quarterbacks in the quarterback room that we have, Cooper Rush signed for another 2 years. Basically,
he's got 1 more year left after this year.
2 years, it could be, frankly, not tag him if they wanted to keep him as well. But Trey Lance is owed $20 million next year. You're not going to keep a backup third quarterback, the 54th man on the roster, the extra emergency quarterback of $20 million. So the best option would be keep Dak. But the man that holds the leverage in this conversation is Dak Prescott. No trade clause, nothing. And 100%. The worst thing about it is, when a lot of fans back in the day, is Jimmy, as you mentioned, when we signed Dak to that first contract, we set the bar, which was a smart move, signing him early. Now it's coming back to really bite us, because Goff just got signed. All Baker Mayfield just got signed. These quarterbacks are getting signed, and Dak's looking at that. Kirk Cousins, I'm better than Kirk Cousins. Signing that bar, like I can get much, much more. Pay me, or just like you said, Jimmy, I'll audition and see you later. I'll take my chances somewhere else.
And Trey Lance is going to be interesting, because if he's going to get most of the preseason. And when he does, because Cooper Rush is already a proven backup, you don't have to send Cooper Rush out there to play preseason. He knows the system. He's in there. Right. If Trey Lance absolutely balls out, it could be a gift and a curse, because then you're looking like we could acquire more than the 4th round we gave for him if he looks like all of a sudden week 3, week 4, somebody loses a quarterback and Trey Lance is balled out in the preseason. However, the Joneses, if Trey Lance balls out in the preseason, you're going to get real close to Jerry saying Dak. Now he won't.
And I can see if Jerry's saying that too.
But it'll be the little inklings. It'll be like, Steven will say, did you guys see Trey Lance out there? And it'll be those little things like, hey, Dak, we have a quarterback if you don't want to take the deal we're offering. It's going to be that game played. It's coming.
And Jimmy, I like how you said that. Dave, I said this to Dave. I said, Dave, we talk about preseason. Your Dak's not going to see the field. Cooper already knows the system here. He knows the concept of the game here. Trey Lance, this could be an audition tape. Right. I got a 5th round. I paid for a 5th round for him, but you know what? Maybe I can get a 3rd, possibly round, because OTAs quarterbacks goes down. We know that. Right. So why not? Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, guys, I appreciate you guys hopping on. But before we get out of here, Jimmy, let everybody, all the fans out there right now, know what We Are the Star is all about and where they can find you at, brother, please.
So the Star We Are, Cowboys Nation, is hashtag Team Give Back. What we do, we're for fans, by fans, as you can see it under my name there, hashtag 4FBF. And we started our initiative just, really small. We're just a couple super fans. We said, hey, Landry said, what if we dressed like Landry and Jimmy Johnson and went to a game? Wouldn't that be funny? And I said, well, I kind of think it would be like sort of a super fan thing that if we're going to do it, let's take it serious. And then, okay, well, what do we want to do? What's our motive behind it? Well, as kids, we never had the opportunities, getting a signed ball, going to a game, owning jerseys like the one you see behind me and Landry now. Those were dreams come true for us as kids. And so immediately we're like, well, let's get back to fans who are in love just like us and maybe not have the opportunity. So we're Team Give Back. We do giveaways. We run raffles. We're for fans, by fans. We raise money for charity. And we're just here to super fan. We're here to cheer on these Dallas Cowboys until we can't anymore, and until we're literally Dallas Cowboys blue in the face. And that's about it.
Landry, what about you? Same thing. Piggyback off that.
Yeah, a lot of what he's talking about. We also run some games. Name That Cowboy. We try to do some innovative things that we haven't seen before. Really trying to innovate and keep the content going for the Dallas Cowboys. There's so much of it out there, and the more the merrier.
Gotcha. I appreciate you hopping on here. We reached out to between Twitter, became friends. So hopefully you guys will come back with us a couple times during the season.
We'll have to get you on the show as well. Absolutely.
Appreciate that. First and foremost, being a Dallas Cowboy fan, it's great seeing other fans across the world. Dave and I lived in Philadelphia, and hey, we're Cowboys fans. We're true to the colors always. So exactly. I appreciate you guys hopping on.
Yeah, guys, it's tough here in Delco, gentlemen. You have no idea what I go through every day. Oh, man, I hear it, I see it. It drives me nuts, and I just stick to my guns. It's all I can do.
I tell you, years ago, outside of Chicken Pete's, when my ex-wife and I used to live there, I had a banner, 5-time Super Bowl champ on my SUV. This guy came out of Chicken Pete's drunk as all hell,
Oh,
smashed all my windows, and I'm thinking like, hey, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm pretty smart. Hey, why don't you slash the tires too? Slash the tires. Got it all on video. Guess what? I got 4 new windows, 4 new tires, all brand new paint job because of a stupid Eagles fan. You know,
There
Yeah.
you go. See?
hey Dave, is it Pat's Geno's or is it something I don't know about?
Geno's and Pat suck.
Hey, I knew it was going to be
Actually,
something like that.
actually, if you want to do good cheesesteaks, Jimmy's is
D'Alessandro's.
pretty good. Jimmy's is good.
D'Alessandro's.
Yeah, Dos Santos is good too.
Mhm.
I personally like Phil and Jim's, and it's actually in Parkside, and it's a very good place there. And Las Pedas is very good too. So
Now, where I live up here, you can go to freaking Wawa down in Philadelphia and get a better
yeah,
cheesesteak. in Pittsburgh.
you can.
Isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
The Wawa.
Definitely.
All right.
Definitely.
Well, listen,
Before we
y'all
get out-
keep repping that blue star, but y'all be safe out there, all right?
Definitely. Before we get out of here, I want to read some of our sponsors real quick, guys. If you're in any needed help, legal help, please reach out to 1-800-HURT-123. Attorney Jason Fine, Big Al. Motor vehicle accident, slip and fall, workman's comp, personal injury claims. He's got you covered. 3 convenient locations throughout Pennsylvania and Jersey. First in Jersey, Cherry Hill, New Jersey, 3 Queensborough Lane. Also in the city of Trashy Love, Philadelphia, PA. That's 1628 JFK Boulevard. And also my neck of the woods, 500 Grand Street, Pittsburgh, PA. If you reach out to him, 1-800-HURT-123. If you get me on the phone, I'm a live operator. I've worked for Jason for over 20 years now. Reach out to me. Mention Out of the Box Sports Entertainment, and I promise you this, not 50, not 45, not 40, not 35, 33 and a third percent guaranteed out of the box family rate. No recovery, no fee. So make sure you reach out to Jason Fine, 1-800-HURT-123. And guys, if you're a coffee drinker, please reach out to monkeycultcoffee.com. The best coffee out there, the evolution of flavor infused coffee. 7 great flavors. The newest flavor, honey agave. Also, he has Matt, the owner, has barrel aged honey, rum cakes, all the swag, all the t-shirts, all the K-Cup diffusers, cold beer diffusers, whatever you need, he's got you covered. And the best thing about this, 2 birds with 1 stone, you get 10% by using Monkey OOTBS Sports at the checkout. And also, 10% of the order goes to the National Pediatric Foundation for Kids. So please reach out to them, 1-800. Monkey Cold Coffee is the number, actually, so we're going to put that number out. They just found the new number on there. So please reach out to them, guys, as well. So, guys, you ready to get out of here?
I wrote the Jason Fine's number down here because I'm about to admit on camera that we are stealing the NFC East again. So, appreciate the attorney's number.
And a heck of a look there. I like
You heard it here first. All right, guys. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Please, please be friends with us. We'll be, hopping on your show. You guys hop on. You're more than welcome to us. Please, tell Sammy as well. Before we get out of here, Jimmy, your hashtag on Twitter one more time, please.
It's at Jimmy J's Hair right there on the screen, or you can find me. You'll find the link under The Star We Are.
Definitely. Landry, your Twitter tag as well.
Same thing at Landry's Legend, the star we
There
are.
we go. There we go. And Slammin' Sammy. Let's not forget about her.
Don't forget about Sammy. I was just going to say, don't forget about Sammy now.
Definitely. All right, guys. My name is Paul Spencer. That is Jimmy right there. That is Dave. And that is Landry up there. We are the 215 boys. Also, guys, like, share, subscribe. Not only us, also with Star We Are. Please follow them too. Great group of guys as well. Family members, Dallas Cowboys. We're all family here, no matter what. So, guys, we'll be back next week, 9:30, same time. Until then, like, share, subscribe, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. See you then.
Hope you guys have fun.
Later.